Sisters, this is your final call for Egypt. The ancient temples are stirring. The Valley of the Whales is whispering, and the Akashic codes are waiting to be unlocked. If your soul has been nudging you, then this is it. Time to pack your passport, your crystals, and your readiness for some serious Merkaba upgrades. The doors are closing. 2 spots remain. So step into the mystery and walk the path of remembrance with us. Egypt awaits with initiation into the Merkaba codes from December 11th to December 18th. Click the link below to claim your seat, and I'll see you between the paws of the Sphinx. Welcome, Sacred Travel friends. I am super excited about today's episode, as you will be hearing about how you can use astrology as a tool to deepen your sacred travel experience, and we'll give you a deep dive into the astral energetics for the pilgrimage in Egypt that awaits, and how this might catalyze your transformation should you want to join us. Ingrid and I did an episode earlier this year about powerful grid points to visit in 2025. So the year is not over yet, and some of the alignments are still happening. So I suggest you go back and listen. It's episode number 45, The Zodiac's Connection to Sacred Sites, What You Can Expect in 2025. Ingrid is an astrologer, an author, and spiritual pilgrim that guides others through the astral realms for transformation and their personal awakening. So welcome back, Ingrid.
Thank you so much, Julia. Thanks for having me.
Well, I am super excited that we go over this today. But first, I want to congratulate you for publishing your book. And I want to ask you, how does this tie to your personal journey with sacred travel and astrology?
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So my book is partially published. There is still more to come in the book from the book. Yeah. And the book is marrying up the astronomy and the astrology. And the astronomy is really a new perspective on astronomy. It's not mainstream at all. But I have discovered that there are a lot of things that have been blocked from our knowledge. And so this is one of them. And so the book is about binary star astrology, how our sun and Mars are in a binary relationship. And that creates a relationship within ourselves. And it also gives us a path, provides us the path through the astrology, through the 7 spheres. And so the book kind of goes into all of those 7 spheres and their interrelationships with one another. So there's the moon, and the moon is in resonance with almost everything in our system. Venus is a very popular and known one, the Venus rose. And then Venus and Mars, for a period of time, have a rose cycle, and they fall out of alignment with that rose cycle, and then they come back into that rose cycle. And there's also a big section in there about the great year, because we are actually coming into an upswing, an upcycle into a time of light. And what that means, especially right now, as we move through that territory. It's a bit of a dangerous but exciting and coming into a new and good time. But it's like a birth, so it is treacherous and also exciting, Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. The book is free. It's called The Path is the Way. There's 4 chapters that are already published. So everybody, we're going to be putting the link in the show notes, and you can go over to Ingrid's website and read through it. I find it's truly fascinating. Also, the way that you showcase, astrology, astronomy, and especially like tying it to a mapping of self and a mapping like outer and inner It's never something that I've come across so far. I find it very intriguing.
I mean, it goes back because a lot of the stuff that I've drawn on is from ancient times, from Egypt and from Greek times, or yeah, and Sumerian, and those myths carry astrological and astronomical information, and they tell us a lot of information. So a lot of it has myths and what and what they did with the soul's growth through those seven spheres. You'll see it in cathedrals. You'll see like the doorways have the seven spheres going around them. So this was, and you'll see the zodiac in these old cathedrals, and you're like, why is that there? Well, it's because it used to be all integrated into our soul path, our spirituality, and we got divorced from it. So I'm bringing it back, but I'm bringing it back in a new way. And actually, Rudolf Steiner talked about this happening at around this time. He talked about the the reemergence of a new idea of the solar system, and he talked about Tycho Brahe.
Mm.
And Tycho Brahe is the model that's been updated that I use. And also, he talked about re under a reconfigured understanding of the spheres. So I've been able to really, really see that drawing on his work, looking at what he said. It's amazing how I think 100 years ago, people were like, what on earth are you talking about? But when you read it now, you're like, wow, this totally makes sense. Yeah.
It does. So thank you for being the translator for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you are currently in England. You've left your home, so to say, and you are embarking yourself on an adventure, kind of like tracking and tracing, being present at the sites that we also talked about in this earlier episode.
Yes.
And how do you personally align your travel to these astrological happenings? Maybe also as an inspiration for the audience, how they could do it.
Yeah. Well, this goes back to ancient times as well. They had pilgrimages. And the pilgrimages, strangely enough, were on sacred sites. They're sacred sites with stone circles now, or they're cathedrals, or there's something very significant on them. And always underneath them are energy points. They're earth energy lines or ley lines. And they were also connected to the astrology. As I said, you'll see in the cathedrals these beautiful, designs of the zodiac. I was in Burgos, I believe, cathedral in Spain, and I was looking, and you could see the seven layers. You could see, different hermetic layers in there. So we are bringing back everything into now. And as you walk on those paths, as you walk the pilgrimage, you have a transformation that happens within that is aided by the energy lines and also the astrology, and particularly when the astrology is aligned. So recently, you may have read, I don't know if you read through the whole thing, I went to Italy. I actually went to Italy to visit the author of the Tychos book. That's where he lives, just outside of Rome.
You think
And
you went for that?
I know, I thought I went for that. I thought I went for that. So I I am, just as a side note, I am in a group with a bunch of people, and we work specifically on setting intentions, and we kind of remote into Washington. Washington is our spot, and we try and work on the energy lines there, and also bringing things into alignment so people could go and meditate there. And that work is with Rory Duff. I'm not sure I think you're familiar with him. And he
I
connected.
cherish this work.
Yeah, he's
Totally.
really,
So everybody
really,
not knowing him, please look him up. He's
yeah,
yeah.
he's done a lot. He's a geobiologist. He's done a lot of work on the ley lines and mapping them out. He maps them remotely, and it's bang on accurate. And he's got a very deeply spiritual approach, and yeah, definitely check him out. I don't quite know how I ended up in this group, but this group is working with Washington and London and also Rome. And Rome is a very crazy energetic spot that it's been very difficult to work with, just because it's the center of Catholicism and blah 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 blah. So I had looked at the astrology, and right now Ceres, which is it's a dwarf planet, and it is named after Ceres, the mythological goddess, and she was the mother of Persephone. So she represents mothering, and the seasons. So winter and summer. Because when Persephone was taken from her, she like the sun went away and it became nothing would grow, it became desolate, and she bargained to get her daughter back. And so that story represents that cycle of the seasons. So mothering. So I go to Italy with that energy there, and just magical things happen. These There's a door there, an alchemical door with two statues on the outside. The strange thing, I understand that the alchemical door, and this is in downtown Rome, I can't remember the street, but these two statues are Egyptian Beths, the Egyptian god Beths, and they protect mothers. So immediately as I go there, this story starts to unfold, and energetically I'm brought into this mission. And so I didn't know I was there to do anything with the mother. And then as I said, Rory connected me with some people who lived there, and we ended up doing some meditations on Tiber Island. And mother came up again, and then we ended up going to a temple, which I was told about by different people, and it's a very remote temple, and it's the temple of Demeter, and Demeter is the Greek version of Ceres. Ceres is Rome. So you go to these, and we know that Rome is an energetic spot. That's why the Vatican is there, right? And you go to these energetic spots, and you look at the astrology that's happening there, and that's a geodetic line. And I can talk about what that is in a minute. So there's this geodetic line that goes through there. And and once you start to pay attention to what the actual energy is, things unfold.
Hey friends, today I want to share something truly, truly incredible and life-changing with you. I'm holding a quantum frequency spray in my hands from the brand called Levy lights. And you would probably not believe me if I told you that this was ultimately what really helped me sustain my gut health, and also what supported my mother not having to go into surgery for her jawbone. And she was able to regrow her jawbone with just a spray. It's not just a spray, it is actually the highest form of nature meeting quantum frequency technology. This is cosmetics that contain over 3,000 imprints, vibrational imprints of the highest, purest substances of nature, herbs, flowers, flower essences, giving an imprint or a trigger to your body to really remember your very own blueprint. And on a physical level, that is being healthy, the cells communicating the hormones in a balanced way, and also on a spirit level, that is remembering that you are a divine being. I have never come across anything like that, and I work with energy medicine basically every day. I am truly convinced that this is what can support each and every one, not just on a personal level, but also collective level on our consciousness journey. And it's truly also a network of light. So if this resonates with you, and if you feel that you would like to find out more about it, check the link in the show notes. I am hosting bi-weekly calls where you can find out more information. You can also contact me one-on-one, and I'm very, very happy to share more about Levy Lights, how they supported my family, my own life, and how they may also contribute to better health, cellular regeneration, on also your consciousness journey. Check it out today.
And the strange thing is, I'm not a mother, and the person I went with is not a mother either. And we got pulled. So people were like, oh,
But you
well,
do carry the archetype still. So regardless if you are a physical mother or not,
yeah,
I'm not a mother, yet I am, because I am mothering my stepdaughter. So there's a lot of different ways I think that you can mother.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it was a very powerful, and I'll tell you, that energy was so thick and so dense and very difficult to get through. And sometimes when you go to these places, energetic lines that need healing, and we also need healing around the mother archetype, in deep need of
Yeah.
healing. It's not always easy, but it's rewarding. So
Yeah.
I would say when you're going to, you can have deep transformations with yourself. And even though I'm not a mother, I did also have lots of deep transformation. And that is the beauty of it. It's a it's a pilgrimage to an energy site where you can unlock heaven and earth, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And if you're intentional about it, I wasn't entirely intentional in that case, but I was aware and aware of the energy, and I think that was even enough for it just to be unlocked. And
Well, I
so,
think it's exactly what you say. It's, when because you have something in mind, which you think that this is the reason why you're going, but then just coming as an open vessel and picking up on and being present with what's actually being presented to you, picking up on symbols like the outer, but also tracking the inner, and then understanding, oh, wait a minute, there is a lot more here. So I thought I was going to go that way, but then maybe let's take at the intersection. Okay, let's go here. Maybe there is something even more to explore. And so it's really that openness and like being that vessel for the energy to just like run through and be worked with, I feel.
yeah. And that is the beauty of travel. Like in astrology, travel is the ninth house. And the ninth house is also spiritual growth and higher learning and, all of these kinds of things. And when you travel and when you go to school, or, there's various different ways to do it. When you go on a pilgrimage, you can unlock that. And the key is to, like you say, go with an open mind, or a go with the flow kind of energy, because you can unlock so much learning that way. And that's kind of in opposition to like what we are like we should know, and we should, be clear, and,
And plan and
and plan.
have everything planned out. Like that's the schedule.
So you have to be, for the learning and the transformation to really happen, you have to be open to those changes for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's powerful.
Wow, it is. I can only imagine. Thanks for sharing that personal story. So there's two things that I want to pick up on. So one, you said about the geodetic line. Was that it?
Yeah.
If we can go there first, and then I want to touch a little bit more on, because you mentioned so often like the seven layer, what I call the seven layers of becoming.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But let's
That's a
go
great way to put
to
it.
the lines first.
Yeah. So basically with astrology, you can take your personal astrology and overlay it over the earth. And that personal astrology will tell you where certain places are in the world that are good for love, for travel, for career, for whatever. So it will tell you where your Venus line is, where your moon line is, where your Saturn line is. Maybe your Pluto line is a place you want to avoid. Pluto is deeply transforming, and it can be dangerous
or
as
not, depending on.
And geodetically, there is a mundane chart. So the mundane chart actually starts from Greenwich, the Greenwich mean line, and then it's like laid over the Earth. So basically, where the lines are right now start from Greenwich Mean Time, and then they, basically wherever. So Greenwich would be Aries. And that's kind of interesting because right now, Neptune and Saturn are going back and forth between Pisces and Aries, right through London, right through Greenwich. And so this is why England and London in particular is this center for all of this kind of deep change and deep chaos right now. And then as you go around the whole entire Earth, like we could look at, for instance, Ceres, as I mentioned. Ceres is going through Italy. Ceres moves quicker. It's got a 4-year cycle, so it's going to move on around to different places of the Earth quicker than Saturn and Neptune. Neptune is very slow, and Saturn is also quite slow. So that's how it works. And basically, the energy plays out in those locations more intensely. Of course, it affects the whole world. We're one. The Earth is one thing, right? But you kind of can pinpoint where that energy is really concentrated, looking at the geodetic lines.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for explaining that concept. That makes it a lot more tangible. And I guess also we get to maybe understand or also process a bit more from the mind perspective, like why certain things are happening at certain times in certain locations.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then let's touch on, you mentioned the number 7 as such a peculiar number seen in many cathedrals, but also if we go to Egyptian temples, it's always these 7 gates until we arrive to the Holy of the Holiest. So from your perspective, what's that about?
From an astrological perspective, it is the planets, the 7 planets. And each of those 7 gates represents a planetary sphere. So and the order of those spheres is quite different depending on the era that you're in. So if you go back to Ptolemaic times, they were ordered in terms of the speed of the planets. So it would start with the moon, and then it would go Mercury, because moon is the fastest, Mercury is faster, Venus is a little less. Sorry, I went in the wrong direction. So moon is the fastest, then Mercury, and then it goes slower as you go all the way out to Saturn. Saturn is the limit. And so that's why Saturn is limitations, it's limits. And it's those 7 planets because those are the ones we could see in ancient times. Now we have telescopes, we can see beyond. And there's Neptune, there's Pluto, there's all of these asteroids. Without a telescope, we couldn't see them before. And so maybe, I do believe we were highly advanced in past Atlantean times, and maybe we did see them. But the 7 are representing of the ones that we can see with our naked eye, basically. So Ptolemaic times, and that's like 2000, that's like Christ, 2,000 years ago. And so when you're talking about going through the spheres, you're working on your emotions first, that's the moon. You're working on your communication, or the Mercury, and that's also a hermetic path, Hermes, Ba, all of these characters are representing Mercury, and then Venus. Venus is Isis, Mary Magdalene, and so on and so forth. So, and actually, Rudolf Steiner, this is the one thing he was talking about, he was talking about, the Chaldean order, and then the Ptolemaic order, and then these different orders of which planets are in which order. And Plato also had an order of the planets as well. And I'm going to remember the Greek one. It's because I don't know why I blanked on it, because that's the one I draw on, because it starts with Leo. It starts with the sun and the moon. And this is, I can actually send you the diagram of how it works. We start with ourselves, and then we go to our moon, and it's just a different order in which we go through these 7 spheres and connect them. But it doesn't actually matter. Eventually we get to the Holy of Holies. Eventually we get to the Holy of Holies. And how have you had a term for it?
I refer to it as the 7 layers of becoming.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to me, it's again kind of like the mirror of the outer and the inner. I haven't seen it from the planetary lens yet, but of course that makes sense as well as an overlay. I feel there's a lot of different overlays that you can have. I was more seeing it from, a chakra system perspective, and how like you get to, and even like the myth of Inanna, for example, like the ascent and the descent, which is a little bit more connected to the Venus path itself, but the reclamation, or also the shedding of different layers to arrive into the Holy of the Holies, which is basically your divine essence.
Mm-hmm.
In short, in a short form.
Yeah.
But it's an initiatory path, like stepping through these 7 gates in and out, right?
So in the model that I have, it starts with Cancer. And Cancer is ruled by the moon, and then it goes to Leo. And this is I still can't access, for some reason in my brain, what it was called in the Greek times, but
it'll come back.
they called it the world. Yeah, they called it the world chart. So, and nobody could figure out why it started with Cancer, then Leo, and then it went to Virgo, Libra. So this is moon, sun, then Virgo is ruled by Mercury, Libra is ruled by Venus, and so this is again the order of the planets. But because there's 12 signs of the zodiac, 7 up reaches its limit at Capricorn. And so they say this is the order of the world chart. But then in the Tychos model, it goes back down, and so Capricorn at the top here is ruled by Saturn, but there's another limit at the bottom, which is Aquarius. And then so you're going down, it's this descent, and then up.
Yes.
Through things. So you're always going ascending and descending. And as you descend, you're learning things, hopefully. So then it goes Aquarius, Pisces, which is a Jupiter. And so it goes back through the order in backwards fashion.
Okay. It's interesting. I'll definitely, I want to look that up.
So
yes, please.
I'll send you a diagram. It's hard to see.
I wanna dive deeper.
Yeah. So
cool.
The theosophists say that or the anthroposophists say that we are evolving as a planet as well. And so as we evolve as a planet, we also get more complicated in our knowledge, and complicated in our the way in which we are our soul grows. So that's how I see it. That's why maybe there's information that's always been there, but now we see it in a new light. We're able to see more complications to it or more depth to it. Maybe is a better way to say it. Yeah. So that's the as above, so below version of the 7 spheres.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. So before we go into the Egypt astrology, I have some rapid starfire questions for you,
Okay.
which to fire the conversation up a little bit. So I'm going to give you some prompts, which is basically either or, and then you decide in this very moment what it is for you. There's no right or wrong. Or there's some where, it's just your short answer. So ready? Okay. Yep. Solar eclipse pilgrimage or full moon ceremony?
I mean, this depends on how deep you want to go, but they're both good. Solar eclipse pilgrimage is going to be a little intense.
It's a little intense. Okay. The Venus line or Jupiter line?
Travel, Jupiter line. You're going to really enjoy it. It's going to be really interesting. If you want to find love, go to the Venus line. They're both good. But some people, I mean, I do have clients who are like, I'm done with relationships right now. Don't send me to a Venus line. So it depends on where you're at.
Well, this is for you. It's personal right now. Venus line or Jupiter line?
Jupiter line.
Jupiter. Yeah, well, you're traveling.
Yeah.
Atlantis or Lemuria?
Atlantis.
Traveling during Mercury retrograde, yes or no?
Yes, with lots of planning ahead and go with the flow kind of energy.
Yeah. Cathedrals or stone circles?
Oh, that's a hard one. Cathedrals. But I want to reclaim them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I picked them to make it a little bit hard on purpose. So your favorite place to be in the world?
Oh, my favorite place to be in the world. Oh, that's a tough one. I'll tell you, I lived in the Yukon and I love the Yukon. It's one of my favorite places. And I also have my moon line going through there. So the minute I land in the Yukon, I feel like, oh, I'm home. And I can't tell you why I'm not there right now, but it seems the universe has other plans for me at the moment. But it's one of my favorite places, and it's one I recommend to anyone. And it has the added feature of the Northern Lights. So.
Oh, it does. Yay. Thank you. And last one, your go-to spot in 2025.
My go-to spot is going to be Newgrange because of the Venus alignment at the solstice, the winter solstice. So I hope to be there. I hope anybody who wants to be there with me will be there as well. And I think it's going to be powerful because it's going to have also Mars is going to be close by as well. So it's going to be powerful alignment. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you. Think the Mars and Venus with the sun are like aligning our masculine and feminine. So this little pilgrimage to that site is going to be all about aligning that masculine and feminine within myself. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and if anybody who is curious right now what that exactly is about, go listen to the previous episode that I had with Ingrid number 45. We'll talk about this more extensively. It's a very rare alignment that's happening over the winter solstice, so upcoming December winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere at Newgrange. And Ingrid's going to be there. So If you happen to be around, let her know so you can meet up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move to Egypt right now. Ingrid has crafted something truly, truly special for the upcoming Egypt pilgrimage, initiation into the Merkaba grid. And those who will be coming with me on the trip receive this booklet as an additional gift. By the way, the two final spots are still open. So register via the link below as the doors are about to close. And I am excited to dive deeper into this because as you travel through Egypt, you don't only walk in the footsteps of the ancients, but really also along these energetic lines that are in turn the Merkaba grid of the earth. So the light body of the earth. And with that, we are also activating and remembering our own light body as we are part of this living geometry, activating that spiritual vehicle that we are given in resonance with the planetary grid. So, Ingrid, how do we want to go about this? Do we want to share what you have prepared and then go alongside, or
Yeah,
guide us?
let's do that. Yeah, there's the booklet. Well, the cover page.
Yeah, so maybe let's go through the main themes that we have first.
So yeah, this is, if you go back one page.
Sure.
Yeah. So there in the introduction, it's just kind of an overview and some of the really powerful things that are happening during that time are the moon at the galactic center, Mars at the galactic center, and also I believe we have Venus at the great attractor. So there's two different spots that are very powerful, the galactic center and the great attractor. They're both in Sagittarius along the Milky Way. And then we also have this Magdalena, which is an asteroid, and she is going to be there with Regulus. And Regulus is the royal star in Leo. So I felt like that was really, really special for your time there. And then if you go one to the next page, it actually starts at a third quarter moon, which is in Virgo, and ends just before the new moon. And so you're in this last third quarter phase as you go on this trip. And usually, if you think about gardening, the last phase is when you're clearing out everything, you're preparing the land, you're getting it ready for the new moon where you plant the new seed. So this is really sort of an ending and clearing phase of the whole moon cycle. And then it's magically at 28 degrees of Sagittarius, which is the galactic center. So I believe the galactic center is where the Golden Gate is in, and that comes from, I believe, Egyptian. I wouldn't. It's not mythology, but it's a belief system, I guess, right? Where there's a Golden Gate and a Silver Gate. So the Golden Gate is in Sagittarius, and the Silver Gate is in Gemini, in those areas. And I believe your soul moves on to the next layer of things at the Golden Gate and the Silver Gate. And you can correct me on this, Julia, because I think you know a little bit more about this. But the Silver Gate is where it's still a very powerful, but you can reincarnate in that area, something like that.
I love the way that you frame it because it also gives me a different understanding. Like when I first heard about it a couple of years back, the way that it was presented to me was the Silver Gate is when most of the souls incarnate on this plane, and the Golden Gate is when a lot of souls, or it's kind of like the portal that opens where a lot of souls can decide to leave. And honestly, like being born in that exact time, I had a hard time. Like, why did I choose that point where a lot of souls are leaving to come to the earth?
Yeah.
But in the way that you frame it is like we're not leaving, we are actually just like moving on to something else that makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense, or kind of like going into the next iteration.
Yeah. It's like the Golden Gate is like the escape into the next into the next realm. And so this is where they say that three-eye atlas, which is this comet that's coming into our system, is coming in
Consciousness.
is coming into, it's like this intergalactic, it's intergalactic through that. It goes into a totally different galaxy. So this is like, to me, it's like being done in this galaxy and moving on to a new one. But then information coming in from, and people born like you are, Julia, you have a lot of planets and so on, right? Kind of constellated around 28 Sagittarius, close to the galactic center.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's when you come in and you're incarnated with planets at those points, you're coming in with intergalactic information. So it's like you're a guide for that area of the solar system, if that makes, not the solar system, of the galaxy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're specially aligned. You're specially created for this alignment, I think.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like, what is the transformation, that we can access in our own consciousness when, especially because December has always been a very special month for me to travel. And obviously because it's my birth month, but also it is, I believe, because we are so close or coming close to the galactic center, which is, I feel, also the point where we come closest to like source consciousness or God consciousness. So what do you feel is the transformation, or how is that accelerating, amplifying the transformation that we can access when we travel in this period of year, specifically to these potent sites like Egypt?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because a lot of people travel for family reasons around this time because it's closer, it's getting closer to Christmas and so on.
Yeah.
So you'll see people traveling to home locations or to, they're not usually traveling for pleasure or fun or whatever, but they are a powerful portal. They do present this very special cosmic point in time where you can do some powerful work. And so if you can get away from family responsibilities, and I mean, it's still early enough before even solstice. It's just before solstice, right? And Christmas. It's a powerful, powerful time. Very powerful, because the energies are right there in the Milky Way and the galactic stream. So, this is, yeah, if you can do it, it's a powerful, you have the cosmic energies behind you to do some powerful work.
Yeah. Thank you. So we spoke to the moon. Then here's a bit more about, Venus and Mars. So what does that hold in store?
Yeah, so Venus at the galactic, the Great Attractor. The Great Attractor is like they say it's pulling everything towards it. So
what is that for people who are like listening for the first time? The Great Attractor, is that a star constellation? How can we imagine that?
It's right at 14 degrees of Sagittarius, and it's still in the Milky Way. It's just this point where, I mean, I guess they call it a black hole.
Okay.
And it's like,
that makes sense.
Yes, it's pulling everything towards it.
Okay. So normalizing black holes.
Yeah.
As the great attractor. I love that.
Well, what I really love is that Venus is there. So it's almost like she's like, and Venus is always attractive anyways. Like, so she's
Yeah.
attracting. She's attracting at this very cosmic level. So there's the great attractor, and then there's the galactic center. And the galactic center is far more aligned with this place where we go interstellar to the next galaxy, as they say. I'm not sure how they know that, but I guess they do know that. And I think it's a very ancient concept that goes way, way back, because
Yeah.
it does show up in even the Dendera zodiac and so on.
Yeah, it does. And to me, like because sometimes these concepts are a little bit hard to grasp mentally. To make it a little bit more personal, I also feel you could say that it's just like the next level of soul iteration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Astronomically, it's like this, place where there's, an exit point to another galaxy.
Yeah.
Astrologically, it's a place where interstellar information will come in. And so we'll get information. And I think that information is really about our soul's growth. But sometimes when planets are lying there as well, we get like quantum jumps with technology. And I mean, it's just this, powerful information. It's almost like that's a space where things are a little more elevated and we gain information there that helps us in our
Mm,
evolution,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I mean, the Egyptians, that's where they wanted to go. It's like we got to exit there, and even the Greeks, through the Iliad. Oh my gosh, I'm going to say it wrong. The mysteries, the elusive. Forget it.
I know how to pronounce it in German. I wouldn't know how to pronounce it in English, but it's like Elias.
Okay, the Eleusinian mysteries. I know I've said that.
That's what you mean. Yeah, the Eleusinian, I think it is. The Eleusinian mysteries. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why I struggle with English. I'm sure I have another first language. So, but I
I
always
love that.
do.
See, because I always say that I struggle with German. So
It's really funny. My first language is astrology. There you go. Um, uh, and I mean, and there, there is astro speak. So you do. I really appreciate you bringing me down into clarity, because sometimes you do get into the astro speak and people, what are you talking about? And so, yeah, I love the prompts for clarity. Yeah. So there's Venus of the great attractor, and I think that's bringing in pulling us towards something. And then Mars is like bringing something in. Maybe three-eye atlases too, I'm not sure. Bringing something into, no, because nobody knows what it is, but it came from that region. And then we have this asteroid, like I said, Magdalene at Regulus. And Magdalena is connected to Venus, but she's like all asteroids are connected to their stories. So the
Mm.
story of Magdalena, and I think Magdalena is really coming into her power. And so seeing her there while you're doing this activation at Regulus, it's like she's taking her throne. She's you know coming onto her seat. Anybody going there is embodying that energy and that information of stepping into their power, stepping into like sitting on the throne of the feminine, the divine feminine, coming really into their power. And so that's what I
which
see.
is which is beautiful, because we are in fact also visiting some of the what I call Magdalene sites in Egypt that are not necessarily always part of other tours. So we are going to be visiting a couple of spots in what they call Coptic Cairo, where we get to go into the crypts where Mother Mary and baby Yeshua have been, where there have been a lot of apparitions. And I also feel, especially with this Regulus constellation, like having that sunrise ceremony at the Sphinx in that constellation of sisters where we can activate the Merkaba, which I feel is very much the Sophia Christ consciousness, like leading all up into what you have crafted. And I am so in awe because I didn't know of this. I had the dates already set, and then I asked you, hey, how could you do this for me? And then when you came up with all that was happening astrologically, and I overlaid it with the tapestry and the schedule or the plan where we would be at the sites, I was just in awe about how everything is unfolding. And that's also another proof for me how intuitively we can, like, there is such a power how when we really work with the guardians of the land and we craft this together in a certain humbleness or like energy with the energies of the land together, how it's all coming together, whether you consciously know it or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, all this is this manual. It's like, I'll use an analogy. It's like you're playing punch buggy, red, and then all of a sudden you see all of the red Volkswagens. It's bringing something into your consciousness. Okay, this is the energy that's there. And then because it's there and you know it's there, you start to see and be able to play with all of the energy that's available to you. So it's like kicking things up a notch. So it's going to play out whether you are conscious of it or not, but just bringing it into consciousness is like, it's I think really helpful, and it's been helpful to me in the past. So I'm hoping it will be helpful to you to be able to say, oh yeah, that's energetically happening with the planets, and this is happening. This is so in line. That's my hope for you anyway with this guide.
Yes. Yeah. Let's just see that. Yeah, for sure. Because, I feel it just sometimes helps to understand and bring energies, transformation, experiences in a form that our body can translate it, that our mind can translate it and understand. And even if it does matter or it doesn't matter, sometimes it's just, oh, okay, I understand. This happened. Why? Or because this and this was the case. And even if this is true or not, I just feel it can be a certain powerful tool to prepare, and retrospectively, or then being while on site, it can be a powerful tool to integrate as well.
Exactly.
So it's both.
Yeah.
Yes. So I also just want to mention, or you go over some of the planetary archetypes from Egypt, because I also feel that it's very intriguing to just know about how we can use these archetypes for our journey. And also, they are deities, but they are, in fact, archetypal energies that are around and that also live inside of us. So, how we can connect to these when we are walking their very landscapes and energies.
Exactly.
Is there any that stands out for you while you were working on the booklet?
On the booklet? Well, I think you're very Venus is very much going to be the energy that you're working with. And also Mars, but I have a different take on Mars. I really do think Osiris is Mars, and that hasn't been the understanding in in Egyptology or even in other thinking. This is the conclusion I've come to based on my own work. So I've put that there, and maybe you can pay attention to the energies and let me know while you're there. But I think Mars. Now, I think Osiris is the kind of Mars that's divine masculine. It's not the warring Mars. It's the divine masculine Mars. And I think we've been missing that divine masculine Mars for a very, very long time. The unconscious Mars has been running the show. So
Yes, yes, yes.
that's the warlike Mars. That's the I'm gonna get mine Mars. That's the taking Mars. But there is a divine masculine Mars that's really coming into being. And I think that might show up for you along your path there. So I would love to know what Osiris shows you, or if I'm right or wrong, I would love to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So we're not going to go into all of that in detail, of course, because this is for the people who are joining us on the tour.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go back. But be sure that this is what you receive on a day-by-day basis. So you'll see exactly what's happening astrologically, how this might play out in your personal experience. It's nothing has to be. It's a guideline, right? And so, as Ingrid says, it's a experience and see for yourself how that plays out, and then we can always have that overlay. But I feel every personal experience is also part of the collective experience, and so
Yeah.
there might be overlaps and threads who are weaving into this collective consciousness as well. And so we are very much hoping that this guide anchors your experience in a lot more, awareness, and also empowering your growth that you might experience while on the grid, supporting you in this role as a keeper of planetary light. And I also want to, give a shout out to you, Ingrid, for really doing this beautiful work, because I think it's truly, truly amazing. And it also helps me a lot as a facilitator to like ground down the energies more. So if you are a facilitator of sacred shifts, I really want to refer you to Ingrid and see if she can do something similar to you. Also, she was doing everything super nicely in Canva with all the beautiful imagery and everything. So thank you so much for supporting the trip in that way. And now I am even more excited to
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think anybody who's going on this journey with you is going to have a very powerful inner experience. And I think it's also something that's very aligned to the greater purpose of the world, just because that's the energy of that Sagittarius, like that whole area of the sky. It's very aligned to bigger purposes. There's a bigger purpose for this, is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. Thanks for seeing that and acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final words for you before we close this?
No, well, I just want to thank you very much for inviting me to do this booklet for you. I was completely amazed by the energy. I was like, wow, this is so timed and guided. And I wish I had the time to go with you for sure. I would be there if I could. But yeah, it was an absolute pleasure putting it together. And I'm really excited for your journey and to hear about what happens and unfolds during that time. Yeah, thank you again for having me on your show.
Well, anytime again. I feel there's going to be another episode in 2026 to let us know I think we should do this every year right now. So you're doing the opening of the year, letting us know what's unfolding in the year, and guiding people to powerful places.
Yeah.
And as for the trip, I feel that we'll definitely do a rainbow bridge to Newgrange, leading into the solstice and the Venus-Mars alignment with the sun that's going to happen with the Merkaba. So, yeah.
And just on that, Rory Duff did tell me that there is a line from Newgrange to somewhere in Egypt, and I should check with him. I should check with him where exactly. It's somewhere in Egypt. I don't think it's the pyramids. It's somewhere else, but I will double check where that is and let you know.
Let me know, and we'll be directing prayers that way.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for coming on again. Thank you for doing this amazing work. Everybody, if you want a personal reading or you want to reach out to any personal travel inspiration or also have similar guidebook guidance that Ingrid did for me for your trip, then please reach out to her. We're going to be putting all her links in the show notes. And as always, I invite you to seek out the extraordinary from the ordinary, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.